I am back in the shop and I'm going to be doing something a little different today on the Jag XJ. So up until now, I've really been focusing on the mechanical restoration, and anyone that's been following this series will see all the pieces that I have replaced on the car so far. Things like brake rotors, a control arm, a couple of air struts, things of that nature, really with the goal that I can use the car, enjoy it, and know that it's mechanically sound. And now today, we're going to get into the beginning of the cosmetic restoration and refurbishment on the car. And the project's going to be headlight restoration. So you can see here, everything's pretty peppered. The lens is extremely rough. And the hazing here is really, really bad. Some of my longtime followers will know the kit that I'm going to use today, but for those that are not familiar with it, I figure I'll share it now. And I will also put a link in the description below for you if you're interested in using it on your car as well. And that's this 3M Headlight Restoration Kit. I have had great success with this. For those that followed the Jag XJS build, you will have seen me using this as well. So standing a little further back, I think you get the idea. You can kind of see, especially at the top, the damage. And as we come over here, it's exactly the same and looks not great. This is definitely something that's let the car down since I purchased it, and I've really had to use some self-restraint to hold off until now to fix this. And for those that want to see a good before, this is what she looks like. So on with step one, and that's going to be to clean the headlights, and then we need to mask off around them where the bodywork gets close, just to protect it while we're doing the sanding and refinishing process. Okay, well, we've got everything prepped. The headlights are cleaned. I've masked around them as best as I can on the car, and now it's time to get to sanding. And I should clarify, we're going to start with 500 grit. That really cuts down all the imperfections on the headlights. So that's actually going to make things more hazy, but it'll cut through all the damage and everything. And then after that, we're going to go to 800, and then we're going to go up to 3000 to just polish everything out. So as you kind of watch this, you'll see that I kind of go in steps, but really that's why, with the goal of just getting everything perfect and polished and nice and smooth before we put the clear coat on top. All right, well, that took a little bit of time, but as you probably saw, the 500 grit really cut down everything on the headlights. You can see they're all cloudy now. That is intended, and there's actually quite the pile of dust underneath the headlights where all the oxidization and imperfections have been buffed off the lens using the 500 grit. So the next step is going to be using 800 grit to start the process of smoothing out the scuffs from the 500 that I just used. So I'm gonna put the camera back and you can watch me kind of go over the headlights again. And this is, like I said, just starting the polishing process to get the imperfections and the deeper scoring from what I have done more and more smooth before we finish the process. So you can really see how hazy the headlights are. This is exactly how they should look. This means that you've got good coverage with the 500 grit, and like I said, look at all this material I've sanded off with all the oxidization on the headlights. And just a little close-up of all the dust, but let's get on with the 800 grit now. Okay, well, that is the 800 grit complete. As you can see, it was still knocking down a lot of material, but the goal was to get the scratches on the headlights that much finer, and we were successful. So with that, we're really moving on to the last sanding step, and that's going to be the 3000 grit. And the goal with this is really to polish the surface of the lens to make it smooth. It will still be a little opaque because there's one final step that will really add like almost a clear coat to everything. But this step is what's going to make it count and really give us that restored headlight look. So with that, let's get out there and give it a go. All right, well, here we are after the 800 grit. As you can see, there's a little bug joined us. Still cloudy. You cannot really see any of the lights or lenses, but you get the idea. Really, the idea was to just smooth out all the deeper scoring that the 500 grit did. So now for the magic part, we're going to get the polishing pad, the 3000 grit, and see what we can do with that. All right, well, here we are. This is just with the polishing pad, so still no clear coat yet, but as you can see, all the yellow hazing that was kind of covering the whole top of my headlight here and here is completely gone. So needless to say, I'm really thrilled with how this is turning out. So we are almost finished. What we're going to do now is get all that masking tape off from around the headlights. We are going to clean the lenses just with some water, just to make sure there's no residue or any of that dust left on the headlights, and prepare to put the finishing sealant on the headlights. So let's go back outside and get that all taken off and cleaned down, and we are one step away from having some lovely restored headlights. Okay, so I have just wiped everything down here. You can see it's all clean and dry. I'm gonna put the clear coat protection on here. I'm gonna do one coat to start off with, and then we'll come back and we'll put a second coat on, and we are done. And there you have it. So we now have the clear coat on. It is drying right now. It says to leave this for 5 to 15 minutes. So I'm gonna let that cure, and then we'll come back and we're going to do one final coat, and we are done. But look at the initial outcome of this restoration. All right, well, now for the top coat. Really, this is like it sounds, just a second coat so that the finish is resilient and will hold up for years to come. And just like that, we are done. So let me take you back to the front of the car and show you the finished product. Without further ado, look at those headlights. They look practically brand new. All right, well, I have to say I am absolutely thrilled with the outcome of this. I was a little dubious if I was gonna have good results on the car because the headlights were really beat up. But as you can see, they look practically brand new. And I'm gonna say this really motivates me to get going on the cosmetic restoration of my 2009 Vandam Pla. And if you are new to the channel and you found us because of this video, please do consider subscribing. As you can probably see, there is a ton of Jaguar content on the channel. I really love maintaining and restoring these beautiful cars and keeping them on the road. And I hope that you enjoy the work that I'm doing as well. And even if you're not a Jaguar fan, we got cars like my Fastback Mustang here that is just days away from its first drive in 10 years. And then these two guys looking over here, Viper GTS and our Porsche 928. So I think there's plenty on the channel for people to enjoy. And like I said, I hope you consider subscribing. It really does help me out. And drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this video and the other videos I have out there. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's video, and I'll see you on the next episode.